Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Dr. Jasmine, your natural holistic health and wellness guide on this journey we call life. So, today's video is dedicated to exploring some of the differences between the different types of medical practices out there. As a naturopathic doctor, I often find that people are confused about what type of doctor I am. I get confused with medical doctors and chiropractors and DOs, homeopaths. So today, I just want to take the time to kind of sift through some of those differences. Now, this is not by any means an exhaustive list, but I hope it just shines a little light on the differences and kind of how these different practices may work together for you and your health. All right, so the first type of medicine, let's start with allopathy, which is the type of medicine most of us are accustomed to, or allopathic medicine. So, this system of medicine is a system that treats disease with the use of prescription drugs or surgery. It's commonly known as modern medicine, conventional medicine, or Western medicine. The word, if we break down that word allopathy, is Greek for that allos is Greek for different or opposite, while pathos means suffering. So together, this means that the suffering that you experience will be treated with a substance that gives you the different or opposite effect of your experience. So, for example, it's like I have a headache, so my doctor gives me an anti-inflammatory like ibuprofen, and that reduces the pain, right? It gives you the opposite effect of your head hurting. These types of doctors are called medical doctors or MDs. The next type is osteopathy or osteopathy. Osteopathic medicine is closely related to allopathic medicine as they use prescriptions and surgery as well as main components of their treatment strategy. Now, they differ because they also take a whole body approach. Okay, so they are trained in an art called osteopathic manipulative medicine and therapies, and that helps them to diagnose and treat disease. Now, the Greek for this, osteo means bone and then suffering. So the suffering of that musculoskeletal system. So it's really understanding the connection between the muscles, the nerves, the skeletal system, and how they're interconnected with how we experience disease processes. So they are actually trained in that, manipulative technique to get the spine, the nerves back into alignment. So that helps to support overall healing. So that's another kind of added benefit of maybe seeing a osteopath. These types of doctors are called osteopathic doctors or DOs. Next is naturopathy or naturopathic medicine. That's what I have my degree in. This word was formed, it's actually the first part, natura, is Latin for natural healing. And of course, pathy is suffering. So it's treating suffering with natural healing options. In this system of medicine, we focus on identifying and treating the root causes of disease. We really focus on removing the barriers that keep our body from actually healing. And there's this innate belief that your body knows how to heal itself. I always think of organisms, including the human body, as really having two like primitive goals, right? It's to reproduce and thrive, right? It's to carry on our genetic code by any means necessary. So your body really, when it's doing what it does, it's doing that to keep you alive by any means necessary. And so sometimes there are barriers that are stopping us from experiencing life in the best way, and that often leads to disease. So if we can figure out what those barriers are, remove those barriers, now we get your body back into a state where it's going to be able to heal. Now, this type of medicine, we also are emphasizing the multi-nature of human existence, right? So we're realizing and embracing the fact that we're not just physical bodies. We're also a mental being and a spiritual being. So by addressing all of these aspects of life and health, naturopathic doctors, we treat the whole person, and oftentimes we see a long-lasting healing in our clients. Doctors with this degree, we are known as naturopathic doctors or NDs. The next type of medicine is a chiropractor. So doctors of chiropractic medicine are a very unique group. They are considered physicians, but they cannot prescribe medications. This type of medicine actually focuses on the spine and the nervous system. So a majority of their training is really understanding how when your spine is misaligned and your nerves are pinched or they're entrapped, how that affects our experience. So very similar to like an osteopathic doctor, but mainly their main system of treatment is through physical manipulation, to guide the communication between that muscle, joint, bone, tendons, nervous system, back into that alignment, which allows it to heal itself, or the body to heal itself. So it's kind of like, just an example, if you've ever had carpal tunnel, or if you've ever had like numbness and tingling in your fingers, what happens is there's a nerve that runs through this, what's called the carpal tunnel. It's called the median nerve. And there's usually increased pressure here. And when that pressure builds up, there's a pain signal, right? Because your median nerve runs through and innervates everything through the hands. Now, it doesn't just start here. There's actually something called the brachial plexus that is kind of right through here, in the neck area. And the nerves of the brachial plexus, or this conglomerate of nerves, they affect our entire upper extremities, right? So for me to be able to do this requires my brachial plexus. For me to be able to move my ears requires nerves that come from that brachial plexus. And when the C5 or cervical 5 through thoracic or T1 vertebra of the spine are misaligned or compressing any of those nerves in there, you can see dysfunction, pain, tingling, whatever you might experience all the way down through your arm and hand. So the realignment right there can relieve some of that pain. So it's not just treating like right here at that area, but a little further up. These types of doctors are known as chiropractic doctors, or DCs. Now, the next type of medicine is homeopathy. Homeopathy is a system of, it's really an alternative medical treatment system that's principle is like cures like. Right. So if you're a chemistry nerd like myself, then you can kind of think of this of the principle of like dissolves like. So a polar compound will dissolve another polar compound versus like a non-polar one. This type of treatment utilizes nanoparticles of remedies with something that's called succussion, or a kind of, it's a kind of hitting of the remedy in dilution. And this process of diluting and succussing is called potentization. And the remedies in large quantities actually would cause the symptoms that the nanodose cures. So, for example, if you've ever cut an onion, of like a really good fresh onion, like making a salad or chili or something, and your eyes start watering, maybe your nose starts to water, that's what that onion does. Well, the remedy, allium cepa, is onion, and it's actually used to treat like allergic rhinitis, watery eyes, runny nose, hay fever, and it's because that onion was taken, diluted down into the nanoparticles, and that lightness and what you're experiencing kind of cancels each other out. So it's pretty cool. Practitioners that practice homeopathy are called homeopaths. Now, homeopaths in themselves are not doctors, unless they have another degree type, like a naturopathic doctor or a medical doctor or a chiropractor or DO. If they're just practicing homeopathy, that would be considered a homeopath. Now, the final type of medicine I'm going to touch on today is called traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. You're probably more familiar with the term acupuncture, acupuncture actually being one of the most common treatment options of TCM. Now, this is an ancient, thousands of years ago, medical belief that the body's vital energy, or the qi, flows along specific channels or meridians that run all the way throughout our body. When we are balanced, there's spiritual, emotional, physical harmony and health. When the qi is in balance, maybe there's stagnation or it's building up somewhere. That's when imbalance becomes prevalent and we experience disease. Now, there's the concept of yin and yang. You've probably seen like the yin yang symbol, the black and white. This is where it comes from. And the yang is more of that fiery, sunny, positive, hot, light part of the body. And the yin is more of your cool, calm, dark, or opposite effect. So when you're more young, when you're more yin, that's when you become imbalanced and you start to see disease. Another really like cool part about TCM that I always liked learning about was likening emotion to different organs in the body. So like anger is related to the liver, anxiety to the heart and lungs. And just by understanding someone's emotional state, you can often um, be directed toward the system that maybe needs a little more TLC, if you will. Along with acupuncture, gua sha or massage, moxibustion, cupping, and other types of treatment options are available from a TCM practitioner, and they're oftentimes referred to as acupuncturists. Now, being a naturopathic doctor, we go through training that encompasses all of these forms of medicines, right? We go through TCM training. We learn physical manipulation. We learn pharmacology. I actually had to take a specific board for pharmacology, just proving that I understand what medications do and when to use certain ones versus others. We also learn about the normal functioning of the body, right? How is the body supposed to function? And how do we get the body back into functionality? On top of that, we learn about botanical medicine, functional medicine laboratory testing, in addition to traditional lab testing, hydrotherapy, homeopathy, and lots of nutrition. So, whatever doctor or medical practice you decide is best for you and your health, I always like to remind you, be sure that you're finding a licensed practitioner so that you are treated with the utmost care. And then always, finding who's right for you, have that conversation, see if you gel, if you mesh, and treat that first interaction kind of like a first date. Get to know them, let them get to know you, and see if this will be a good partnership. If you're ever looking for a naturopathic doctor like myself, I do virtual consultations through my business, Natural Life Health Consulting. You can always visit me at www.drjasmine.com, and that's Jasmine with a Y. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. That's all for this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. God bless you and your health. Bye.